Good morning, everyone. It's Laura T. on Green on Dream Deals. I'm Dream Deals 123 on eBay, and I am the Silver Owl Thrifter here on YouTube. And I'm cold. I had to bundle up. I don't know. I just wear my same old wool sweater all the time because it's the only thing that keeps you really toasty warm. Well, found my roach clip. If you weren't watching yesterday, I sold a tiny little roach clip, and as I was doing the what sold, I couldn't find it. So, anyways, not my roach clip. I use a pipe. Big fan of medical marijuana, recreational, whatever. It's all legal here in Maryland. Anyways, we're not talking about that. We are talking about what sold on eBay. I made $182 overnight. And I'm going to talk about that. And then I'm going to talk about, I don't know if you guys, have you ever heard of this chat AI? Let's talk about it at the end. It doesn't really have a lot to do with eBay, but you know what? Everything in my mind is connected. You know, like if something can make a part of your life easier, it helps with other parts of your life. You know, like that's why I like talking about health things. Because if you're not sleeping at night, you're not going to be able to do eBay very well. If you're not feeling good, you're not going to be able to do anything very well. So let's talk about stuff I sold. First of all, I sold this very pretty, large, fancy, clear glass vintage perfume bottle with round faceted stopper, estate find. Sometimes if you put estate in there, collectors will check that out. So that's a keyword if you have room for some of your hard goods or estate found vintage clothing, I would assume. I sold this for $23 and made $10 on that. This I found in I was cleaning the other day. It's just some HP number 63 ink cartridge, 63 tricolor. I couldn't find an expiration date on it, though I bought it last year. I put that in the listing. I put it really cheap. It sold for $17. I made $10 on that. And I had two of these, so I put quantity 2. So I'm thinking since this sold overnight, the other one is probably going to sell very quick too. I might even raise the price $1 or $2. So this is another interesting thing. I went through all my old men's shoes from 2018. And I looked at each listing, had about 20 pairs that had just been sitting there for 5 years, no movement, no offers, no nothing. And I said, I'm going to investigate these, and either a couple of them I just took off completely because I was like, these are never going to sell. I bought them when I didn't really know anything about sell-through or what I was doing. If I had heard on some YouTube video that something was, Allen Edmonds was a good brand, I would just buy Allen Edmonds, any condition, any price, any size, and not even consider that, it weighs so much that it's going to cost me, whatever, $10. So anyways, but I did find that these Echo shoes, and they were in nice condition, and I hadn't had them listed. So I listed them, and they sold for $39 in a couple of days, and I made $19 on them. So that made me feel good. That was worth it to just kind of cleanse the whole energy of that. And here's another, I haven't been doing a lot of shoes lately, but I might be going back. I bought these last week in a haul video. Sorel. I sold some Sorel yesterday. So Sorel Explorer Carnival winter boot. I found out the the name of it, and I'm trying to be a little better at that, like plugging in the numbers and things and see if I can find the actual name. That helps. Gray women's size 7, so not a huge size. Ankle lace lined. Sold for $50. Made $26 on those. And I paid $7 for them. But Sorel is a very solid brand, I think, if you can get them for the right price, which you can pay up a little for Sorel, in my opinion. Some Sorel boots can go for hundreds of dollars. Definitely check them out. Here's some that Don't know if I would do again. Maybe. It's a lot of 2 tin snips, vintage Wiss A11 metal, 10-inch USA and 14-inch unknown brand. I paid $4 for them. I made 32, and about 8 of that is going to be shipping, so I walked away with about $14 after fees. Don't do a lot of tools. I know you can make a lot of money in them. Once in a while, I'll pick something up. Let's see. What's the really good tool brand? I think Craftsman is good. Yeah. But again, I'm not an expert. All right, last is the Land's End blue. Remember, this is a bathing suit, Land's End. If you've been watching me for, a while, you're probably figuring out what I buy a lot of, because it's just the same stuff keeps coming up. Land's End, and hopefully that helps you to know what to look at. Land's End women blue coral tropical quick dry elastic waist swim board shorts, size 8. And these I paid $3 for. It's 21. I made $9 on those. So I made 88 net. Total of 2,786 gross this year since January 1st, and 1,484 net. I think I'm going to be on track to do 2,000 net this month, which is nice. That's kind of what I figure I'm going to make, and I budget kind of around that. All right, I wanted to talk to you about this chat AI, and you can find it at chat.openai.com. And it is this thing where you can just ask it to do or tell you just about anything. And it will, let me tell you an example. Okay. So my dad is older. He's not in the greatest health. He's in a nursing home. And I've been kind of writing a few memories and things I have of him. And so I thought that it could help me. I wondered what it could do with some of my memories. And so I typed in a deliberately kind of badly written sentence. And here it is. It says, Paul Voykin was born in a sod house on the Saskatoon prairie, the oldest of 4 brothers. The depression hit the family hard. They were hungry and cold all of the time. Their dad had a drinking problem and spent all the money on booze. Just sort of a random sentence. And then I said, could you rewrite it in the style of Tom Wolfe? In the heart of the Saskatoon, if any of you have ever read Tom Wolfe, he was one of my dad's favorite authors, so I just thought of that. In the heart of the Saskatoon prairie, there stood a sod house, a crude abode of earth. This is what it wrote for me. A crude abode of earth and grass, where Paul Voykin was brought into the world, the eldest of 4 brothers. The Great Depression descended upon the land like a dark cloud, casting its long shadow upon the family's fortunes. They were beset on all sides by want, privation, and hardship. The father, a man given to the bottle, spent what little money they had on cheap whiskey, leaving the family to suffer the bitter cold and gnawing hunger. Now, that's in the style of Tom Wolfe. Then I said, write it in the style of Jack London. Born in the rugged sod house on the Saskatoon prairie, Paul Voykin was the firstborn of 4 brothers. The winds of the Great Depression howled across the land, leaving the family to fight for survival in the face of poverty and hardship. Hunger and cold were constant companions, and the father's drinking problem only added to their misery, as he spent what little they had on booze, leaving the family to fend for themselves. But through it all, Paul and his brothers remained strong, their spirits unbroken by the trials of the time. And then I wrote it about, I sometimes think about writing a little book about eBay, but I thought it would be fun to have it be kind of like a not just about eBay, but kind of a memoir / book about life. And I wrote a little something for it, and I asked it to rewrite the following. Okay, this is what I wrote. eBay has added so much to my life. Before eBay, I was sleeping until noon and drinking until the wee hours of the night. Now I get up early and get going. I get up at 5:30 a.m. and go to bed early. I've lost 75 pounds and I've made over $100,000. eBay has added so much to my life. It has also helped me grow as a person. It has helped me to have patience and think the best. And I said, could you rewrite that? And wait a minute. This isn't the one I wanted. Okay, wait a minute. Let me see if I can find the one that I wanted. Sorry, but it's funny. Okay, I wrote something. Let me see here. Sorry. Okay, I can't find that one. Well, here, eBay improves lives. Here's this one. I said, can you rewrite it? And it said, I'm going to stop this and find the one. Okay, I'm just going to, so this is what it rewrote for me. I said, rewrite it. And it said, eBay has had a major impact on my life. Before using the platform, my daily routine consisted of staying up late and sleeping until noon. However, since starting to use eBay, I have made significant changes to my lifestyle. I now wake up at 5:30 a.m., go to bed early, and have lost 75 pounds. Additionally, I have made over $100,000 through my experiences with eBay. Not only has the platform brought financial success, but it has also allowed me to grow as a person and develop valuable qualities such as patience and a positive mindset. Okay, now, I know some of you are new here. If you came here just for seeing what I sold, sorry, you can turn it off. But I'm gonna talk more about this because I think it's really something. So here I wrote one saying, okay, this is about, I was writing one, a little bit of a memoir. And I said, I'm sorry, I have a lot of stuff written here. So, let's see. There was one that I really wanted, and all right, so I wrote, I said, can you give me an idea for a memoir about a girl whose father was a gambler? They had no money but lived in a very rich area. And and so it wrote this, The High Roller's Daughter. Synopsis, growing up, and I asked her to put the name Laura in there. Growing up, Laura always felt like an outsider in her wealthy neighborhood. Despite her father's profession as a successful businessman, he wasn't a businessman, he was a greenskeeper. We can change that. The family struggled financially due to his gambling addiction. As Laura navigates the trials and tribulations of growing up in this environment, she must also deal with the shame and stigma of her family's financial struggles and her father's addiction. Through her experiences, Laura learns the value of hard work and resilience, and ultimately finds the strength to break the cycle of addiction in her own life. The High Roller's Daughter is a poignant and powerful memoir about one woman's journey to overcome the odds and create her own path in life. I've been just fooling around with this, having so much fun. I had a book idea called, I said, I had a book idea about a hangman in the 16th century. I said, could you give me a idea for a book about a hangman in 16th century Germany? And it's called The Hangman of Nuremberg. This is what the AI gives me. Synopsis, in the year 1560, Hans Schmitz is a young man trying to make a living in the city of Nuremberg. With few job prospects, Hans takes on the role of executioner, a position that is both reviled and necessary in society. As he becomes more seasoned in his role, Hans begins to question the justice of the punishments he is tasked with carrying out. When a friend is falsely accused of a crime and sentenced to death, and this was my idea, but I didn't tell it this idea, Hans must confront his own morality and decide whether to follow the law or follow his conscience. Set against the backdrop of a tumultuous period in Germany's history, The Hangman of Nuremberg is a thought-provoking tale of one man's journey to find his place in the world. Okay, now, here's the thing. I have been thinking about writing a book like this, and I found this book that was written in Nuremberg in the 16th century by a real hangman. It's called A Hangman's Diary. And I wonder if this AI has read, I mean, it knows everything that's out there. So it's almost like it wrote read this and then just read it in a second and then just put this out there, because it was a tumultuous time in German's history. Anyways, sorry to go on and on about this, but I just think this is fantastic. I mean, you can just say you wanted, I wrote, give me a, I asked it, can you tell me how to sell on eBay? Getting back to eBay. Just said, yeah, I like to know how to sell on eBay, or how to make a profit on eBay. Yeah, here it is. How to make a profit. I asked it how to make a profit on eBay. Buy low, sell high. I mean, I don't want to read it all, but it's answering every question that a beginner could have. So you could go in there and say, how do I do this? And it gives you good stuff. The only thing you got to remember is it only goes up to like 2021 in facts. Like it still, I asked it, how do you get started on eBay? Just to see what it would say, and it made some mistakes, especially in that you use PayPal, because eBay hadn't had its new managed payments things up yet. So you got to be aware of that. But I told it that, and then it went, I guess, back into more recent things, and it was like, oh yes, I'm sorry, my mistake. It's very polite. Okay, enough of this. But you can, it also knows how to code. There's also one where it's art stuff. It would draw anything I asked it to in any style of any painter. Now, there's a lot of controversy about this and a lot of lawsuits happening. Like, for instance, where does it get that art? It must take it from other artists, right? I don't know all the law on that, but I know a lot of artists are very upset about it. I mean, and this is going to... this has been valued at billions and billions of dollars already. You've probably been hearing about it too, because it's been in the news a lot. But it can, I could see how it could just change everything. It's very, very, it knows how to code. So say you're a company like Salesforce that hires a lot of coders. My nephew works there. Would his job be in jeopardy? Or would you need to have, I would imagine you would have to have people who knew what they were doing to at least monitor and even know what this can do, if you know what I mean. But I would imagine if I was like the CEO of a big company like that spent millions and millions of dollars on hiring coders, and I could have one coder do the work of 10 using this, they're going to do it. I mean, and if you're a small business and you want to get started and you need a design logo, and this can do it for free. I mean, I don't know how, I'm sure this is going to start, they're going to find a way to monetize it for sure. But, and like, I was going crazy with the drawings, and then it told me, okay, your freebies are up. So I didn't know that there was a limit. So, but man, I did like 25. So if I'm a company, say I wanted like a little silver owl logo or something, I could tell it exactly what I wanted. Could you put a owl with a silver owl with glasses on and a scarf and lipstick? It could do that. I want to go do that. Show you all. All right. Have a great day.